Victories like this one should make a leader impregnable in office. But Keir Starmer started with low net favourability, from which his ratings fell further. There were brief upticks when he first met Donald Trump or later resisted joining Trump's Iran war. His ratings hovered around the lows of Boris Johnson and Liz Truss. His idea of change was calm after their storms.
You have given us a clear mandate, and we will use it to deliver change, to restore service and respect to politics, end the era of noisy performance, tread more lightly on your lives.
Keir Starmer's project was to make the Labour Party electable again and save it from the hard left. And in that, he was extraordinarily successful. The problem is that the project didn't really extend beyond polling day.
He'd arrived with a policy knapsack with little in it. The country had to wait 118 days until Rachel Reeves' first budget. In the meantime, the government announced one eye-catching policy that stuck in voters' minds: cutting winter fuel allowance.
Save the winter fuel! Save the winter fuel!
Having said they'd only raised tax by just over £8 billion, over two budgets the government raised taxes by £66 billion. And Keir Starmer's attempts to clarify what he was about were ever more forgettable word salads.
There are basics in government, and they're foundational. The missions then sit on top of that. They're the foundational stone of the plan. The missions are then the additional things that we want the government to do, and the plan for change then takes them forward with measurable milestones.
He didn't have the thing of being a storyteller.
To those who knew Keir Starmer in his legal career, his limitations weren't surprising.
We, the senior lawyers in Chambers, we used to fight over who would have him as our junior in our cases, because he was just so assiduous in his preparations of things. Judges liked him great with legal argument. I wouldn't have said he was a jury lawyer, and so that may explain in some ways that he wasn't a storyteller. Stories are the stuff of life, and telling the stories of how, and telling the same old story about your father being a toolmaker isn't good enough.
Many think Keir Starmer's position became irrecoverable when Number 10 tried to pursue £5 billion worth of savings in the welfare budget.
The welfare system as it's set up, it can't be defended on economic terms or moral terms.
Labour unity snapped.
Dickensian cuts.
The dog's breakfast.
This is outrageous, man.
It is with a heavy, broken heart that I will be voting against this bill today.
Keir Starmer's authority over his party wasn't dented, it was destroyed.
What you saw there was the Parliamentary Labour Party rising up, shredding those plans, and with it, the Prime Minister's authority. And from the welfare rebellion on, basically, the government seemed to fold on pretty much any issue that could pitch it against the Parliamentary Labour Party.
Most people would sort of acknowledge that on some level. You didn't feel he did, it didn't go in?
He had remarkable levels of self-belief and resilience, and I think he was very stubborn.
Marking 1 year in office, Keir Starmer had said in an interview he felt his first big mistake was when he squeezed the hope out in one of his first big speeches.
Things are worse than we ever imagined.
He said another regret was adopting strident language on immigration, which echoed Enoch Powell.
We risk becoming an island of strangers.
Morgan McSweeney, who ran Keir Starmer's original leadership campaign and the general election campaign, was blamed for feeding him that line, operating Keir Starmer like a glove puppet, dragging him to the right. He was dispensed with when his favoured candidate for Washington ambassador, Peter Mandelson, was forced out over links to Jeffrey Epstein. The relentless fallout from the Mandelson appointment, especially tough for Keir Starmer to take.
I am angry. He lied, and he lied again. I am angry. I'm absolutely furious.
I know that Keir Starmer had reservations and was listening to other pieces of information that he had, and his own sort of reading of newspapers about Peter, and had never sort of he was not in the friendship circle of Keir, but Morgan McSweeney was one of Peter's boys.
I don't think that boy would recognise where I am now. We faced huge challenges as a family.
Relentless attempts to convey his humble origins didn't seem to get cut through.
Through that door, front door, there wouldn't be many people visiting our house because my dad didn't really want people coming in because he feared the conversation, what do you do for a living? And that made him retreat behind that front door.
Many voters found the son remote, unrelatable. He was asked how he coped with political attacks.
Firstly, I think I'd sort of go in on myself in almost a protective crouch. I'd absorb it into myself, and then begin the process of shutting out what I can shut out.
He's very emotionally detached. He's probably the most compartmentalised person that I've worked with closely in my career. And I think sometimes that remoteness came across as being slightly aloof.
In January, when cameras were invited into cabinet, the Prime Minister looked like he was struggling to stay in command.
Those were the cameras wanted to Are you live and ready to go? Okay, colleagues, let's make a start.
Command would soon slip altogether from his grasp.
Deliver for the whole country.
A high-speed loss of authority that has ended with his removal from office.
That was great. That was fantastic. Well done.
The right man to remove all trace of Jeremy Corbyn from Labour and to remove the Conservatives from office. For too many, not the right man to run the country.